And I'm now joined here on the Irish Political Roundup by Deputy Natasha Newsome Drennan, who is the Sinn Fein TD for Carlow Kilkenny. Deputy Newsome Drennan, you were at a talk there recently on about women stepping into farming.
Yeah, so look, it was great to see all the women that were over there, and they're, very enthusiastic and everything. I'd like to see, more support going in for, to get them more involved. I'd like to see banks being a little bit more lenient on liens. It's quite difficult to get a loan if you're male or female,
Yes.
for anything to do with farming. You can really just go down the line of a stocking loan. It is difficult. I think that bit needs to be easier. Also, more safety measures for male and female as well. But no, it was great to see the amount of women that turned up for it. But we need to see more women in the top jobs within the farming industry. To make leading roles. But look, that goes across the board for anything, whether it's a government, like you see the amount of ministers that females got to take here in this stall. So I think across the board we need to see more women in the top jobs.
Exactly. And you've been very vocal about the problems with the acre scheme. There's a lot of farmers that have invested a lot of money to help them qualify for this scheme, and
Yeah.
there's big difficulties with getting payments, which is affecting farmers' livelihoods.
Yeah, so just in Carlow and Kilkenny alone, we have 50 people that haven't got the 2023
Wow.
Figures. And in total then, Carlow and Kilkenny, there's 450 or just over that haven't got any payments for 2024. So I've had farmers ringing me and they're like, do I feed myself? Do I feed the animals? This is kind of how it is. And it's a decision that it's like they put their feet into this system, into the acre system. And it's very hard to see how, they can have faith in any more schemes. Look, that money, there was 260 billion invested into this, and a million, sorry. Where is that now? Like, where is it? Where is it lying? Because it was announced in good faith that this is the money, that would be put out for the schemes, and yet we have this many farmers in Carlow Kilkenny alone that haven't got paid. So what is it for the whole country?
And have you spoken to the Department of Agriculture on this, and have they given you any explanation why there's huge delays?
We have nothing yet. We have PQs gone in, but we have no answers yet. But look, don't worry, I'll keep going at it, because like when we had the snow, it was the farmers that cleared the roads, so that we could go to our work while they're getting paid peanuts.
Yeah.
And also, who kept us alive when we had COVID? It was the farmers that was feeding us. So I think they're owed a little bit here now, and I just think that something they need to be paid. They need to be sorted out. I just don't see how farmers are going to keep going if this kind of money just keep getting stoppages on it. Yeah, no, look, I'll keep going on it. I will.
And farmers are not just the custodians of the land. The money that they spend in rural Ireland is so important. I believe stats somewhere that for every €1 that's spent by your local farmer, about another 250 goes back into the local economy. So farmers, they really are the backbone of rural Ireland. Of course, large chunks of Carlow Kilkenny would have lots of farmers.
Definitely, yeah. Of course, like sure, I'm rural, and we're living on a suppler farm, which the average suppler farm is earning just over €7,000 a year.
Wow.
It's very difficult to see how you can sustain that. So a lot of farmers in general, they also have a second income. It's almost gone to the stage where is farming going to be just a hobby? And like our food, like we produce some of the best quality food, and I think that it just needs to be, a lot of work needs to be done to keep it going and to keep farmers wanting to farm, not because it's a hobby for them. And I have 4 boys. I'd love to see one of them take over the farm, but at the moment it's like, no, guys, you need to go to college, because I just don't see how rare in a family, that the kids could rear a family out of it. It's it's a shame to see the way things have gone. And look, we need the government to step up and get the payments that the farmers are due, that they went into in good faith, and get those payments out. Yeah.
And we're not talking small sums of money. There's farmers that have invested a lot of money, and they really do need those acres payments to come through.
Yeah, of course they do. Look, I mean, the farmers, not only do they need to feed themselves, but they've got people knocking on the doors. There's bills that have to be paid. And without that money, somebody is going to lose out, whether if it's feeding themselves, their animals, or the bills that they have to pay. Yeah.
And another topic, is going to have an impact in rural areas, particularly in Carlow Kilkenny, is the whole summer soccer. The FEI are looking to move to what's called a calendar season, which will be kind of in line with the League of Ireland. So you'll be going from, say, March to November. No, the reason, and they're saying that you get to play on better pitches, and it's just better for players' development. But rural clubs would be hit very, very hard.
Yeah, so we're coming from, say, Ballyhale, so it's Ballyhale, Shamrocks. We're a very small community. We don't have the choice. We don't have the luxury of having a soccer team and a hurling team. And one of them would have to give. If we go summer soccer, we won't be able to feed both teams.
Yeah.
And it's not fair on children to have to make a choice between soccer and hurling. Hurling is embedded in the community down there, as with a lot of other rural areas.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair on children to have to make a decision. You could have a child where somebody explained it to me the other day. It's like they have a birthday party to go to, or they have a hurling match to go to, and it's like, which one do I choose?
Yes.
And it's a headache for them. Like, some of these children, 9, 10, like, they shouldn't have to make decisions like that. But we could be stopping, if children are going to pick GA because they're from Ballyhale Shamrocks, we just say as an example, are we going to lose out on those superstar soccer players?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, look, it won't work in rural areas, maybe in the towns. But like in Kilkenny, we're talking, there's a lot of rural clubs that just won't be able to feed a team.
And a lot of those that coach the GAA team are also coaching the soccer team. So even coaches and the volunteers, they're going to have to pick as well. And that's not right either.
No, of course, at home as well, that's the way it is. So you have the the under 8 teams, the same trainers are training the under 8 hurling teams, and so on and so on. But not only that, right? So if we take away the whole summer soccer, we're trying to get kids off televisions, off computers, off phones. We want them to get out and get exercise. They don't care if it's raining outside or if it's snowing. They still want to be outside because they get to go and meet up with their friends. For their mental health, it's brilliant. But not only that, it's also the parents. It's an outlet for the parents in the winter. Sometimes it's a chore between running from one sport to the other, but it gets people out. It gets people talking. There's people that are new in a community. And so are they going to just meet somebody just for one half of the year, and then the rest of the year there's nothing? So we'll say, like a rural area like Ballyhale, as with a lot of other places, you have community coffee shops closing down, you have pubs closing down. This is their outlet. And if you take that away from summer months, or for the winter months, and you only have summer months sport, they need that outlet.
And the leagues in Carlow, Kilkenny, and Wexford, I believe, I think the Midlands as well, and I think Wicklow may also be included.
Wicklow, we were at that meeting.
They're looking for the FEI to introduce a right to choose. So if you want to play summer soccer, by all means, play summer soccer. If you want to play the regular, what's there, fine. It's about giving leagues choice instead of the one size fits all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, that's it. I mean, I know for us it wouldn't work, as with a lot of other rural areas, it won't work. But in the towns, some of them want to have the summer soccer, and yes, choice. Give them choice, but don't just push it on everybody. They should have a choice.
And you were recently appointed Sinn Féin spokesperson on carers and older people, and with disability is going to would feature in that as well. And that's an area that you worked in for many years. Carers, older people, they have a lot of challenges at the moment, and I'm sure you're seeing a lot of them firsthand in your work as a TD. What areas will you be, holding to the government to account on as regards older people's and carers?
Well, look, I was shocked and delighted, to get the role of junior spokesperson for older people and carers. Um, Obviously, I was a carer for the last 18 years, and I worked mostly with older people in the disability sector. And look, I am passionate about that area. Um, yes, so carers, like the means test for carers, that needs to be abolished, because why should, we'll say, a carer suffer because their husband is working?
Yeah.
So they don't have a right to an income. They're in the home or in the house where they're caring. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no breaks. There's no times where you can say, I'm going to clock out now.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. So why should they not have their own right to their money and not be judged on their husband or their wife's wages? It's, that's just a small thing.
Yeah,
it's just a small thing that should be done to recognise what they have done. They are saving the state so much money as being carers. It just,
and in some
it's a small thing.
and in some cases, person could be maybe €20 over the threshold, and it's just computer says no.
Yeah, this is it. Well, the computer says no to a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I think, look, individual cases, if it is a case that it's only that small bit, I think maybe reach out to your local TDs, look, see if there's something that can be done. There might be something that can be tweaked. Maybe there's, something else that they're an outcome and that can be knocked off against it. There might be just a small thing. But look, in general, it needs to be scrapped.
And
get rid of it.
As you said, you're junior spokesperson and older persons as well. That's the one thing we all have in common. We're all
getting older.
We will all get old. So
please God, we will.
Yeah, exactly. Please God, indeed. What more could be done to support people as they grow old in the community?
Yeah. Okay. So it's been proven that people that are cared for in their own homes are healthier, they're happier, they live longer. So what we want to do is support people to stay in their own homes for as long as they can, and then to move, like a tiered system, to move to community houses.
Yeah.
And then what we want to see is any new health centres that are being built. We would like to see little houses, the community houses, being built around them, so they're there for support, so that if they need a dressing on something during the day, there's a nurse at base. It just makes sense. We don't have nurses then driving all over the area. It's basically cop on. And then to move on to a more independent nursing home, where they have a small bit of support. And then lastly, to go to a nursing home. I mean, a lot of people that live at home, that's supported at home, well, they don't even make it to a nursing home, which is great. Like, I know with my own father, when he died, he did not want to go to a nursing home. He wanted to be cared for at home. And my mother done that, and, maybe he got more years out of it.
Yeah.
But they should have the choice.
And in your own constituency, Carlow Kilkenny, in Callan, you have a great model. You have Mount Carmel, which is a care home. So you kind of have different tiers, so you can live independently, you can live with a little bit of support, and if you need more support, there's another nursing home, there's Strathmore Lodge. So that's really the type of model that should be rolled out across the country.
So before the elections, I went up for a visit up there, and it's brilliant because they have those little houses that are, they're just a walk out the door. And then they also have the option then, so they're quite comfortable with the place. So they have their day service where they go in and they have their meals inside if they want them. And then you have the option of being under the same roof. And they gradually move into it, but they're already familiar with it. So these are the kind of things that it doesn't feel like I've gone from home to a nursing home.
Yeah.
You've gradually, gone from being independent living to slowly needing extra support, but only on your terms. So it's a model that's planned, with you, not for you,
Yes.
and that's what it has to be.
Definitely, Newsom Drennan, you're very vocal on the children and education, actually learning home ec in school. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so obviously I come from a family that have been, deeply embedded in cooking, and we always had home cooked meals. We were lucky in a way that all of my aunts, my mother, all can cook. Even myself and my brother, as younger kids, we used to just take out the cookbook on a Saturday morning. My mother would just let us do it. We'd make a mess, but do you know what? We had fun and we'd bake. And both of us now can just attempt anything. What I would love to see for children is first year in secondary school, that it's not a choice. You do home economics, you learn how to cook the basics, not even necessarily as a subject choice, but make it more fun. Sew a button, sew a hole in a garment, whatever it is, but to have those basic needs. This will help you in the long run. You get to college, you can cook for yourself, you can open that fridge, you're comfortable with cooking, and you can throw anything together. And let's that little pucker in a top or something that you can sew it. It's more sustainable, but they will save money in the long run. Let's away from the takeaways and stuff like that, the handiness food. So that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see kids doing it first year, boys and girls, it doesn't matter, as across the board, and it doesn't feel like it's a chore. Then everybody's doing it anyway. So that's one thing I would love to see.
Well, I would 100% agree with you on that, because I did home economics for my leaving cert, and I can easily say it was the most useful subject I ever took. And I believe
skill.
I've been told I'm a decent cook as well, so I attribute it to that. So definitely, Newsom Drennan, thanks a million for taking time to chat to us here on the Irish Political Roundup.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.